The man had merely wet his pants when the train attendant cut open his clothes. Then, opening the train's small window, he shoved the man's arm directly outside. The man instantly let out a piercing scream, but after just 3 seconds, he suddenly fell silent. Because outside it was negative 100 degrees. By then, his arm was completely frozen solid, and the attendant's sledgehammer was already in position. When the countdown ended, his arm was pulled back inside. Seeing this, the guard swung the heavy hammer, instantly shattering the man's hand to pieces. Yet, faced with all this unfolding before them, the poor in the carriage dared not speak, for the earth had now entered an ice age. 99% of people had frozen into ice sculptures, and the 1% who survived were hidden aboard this train that had run for 17 years. Yet a severe class divide existed here. The rich lived in the front, first-class carriages, living in decadent luxury every day. The poor were crammed into the foul-smelling tail section, surviving on a kind of black protein block. Not only that, the rich often took children from the poor carriages, and anyone who dared resist faced severe torture. But after over a decade of observation, I noticed the soldiers' guns seemed to have no bullets. So that day, during food distribution, I quickly moved through the crowd and pointed a guard's gun at myself. The result matched my suspicion. With this confirmation, the crowd immediately lifted a massive metal pipe, rushing toward the about-to-close carriage door. They successfully jammed it open. The few guards, with no real ammunition, were quickly subdued by our collective effort. But to reach the train's first-class section, we needed to rescue a crucial father-daughter pair. The man was a master lockpick. His daughter also had a special skill. She could hear situations beyond the door. After the man worked his lockpicking magic, the next carriage door slowly opened. Inside was just as the girl predicted, completely empty. This was our first glimpse outside in over 10 years. Everyone was stunned by the snowy white world. As the second carriage door opened, we realized we'd reached the kitchen. The protein blocks, distributed daily, were actually made from millions of crushed cockroaches. Seeing this, I burned with fury. But just then, the girl suddenly shouted to stop opening the door. It was too late. Her father had already unlocked it. A group of axe-wielding soldiers stared straight at us. Yet just as we prepared for a fight, they all put on night vision goggles. The train rapidly entered a pitch-black tunnel. We, armed with nothing, were about to become lambs for the slaughter.